Hi everyone, I'm going to talk you through step by step how I painted this painting. It was painted live on my live stream, so I've cut out a bit of the chit chat, but there's some few odd bits in there, but it's okay. Come and join me live if you want to. I'm usually live on a Monday and a Wednesday, possibly. Anyway, enjoy this. Bye. I've got a number 12 brush here. I'm using some mixtures of blues. I think it's mainly what do you call it, ultramarine. Let's slap a bit of that on there. I think that's mainly ultramarine blue. But I'm going to start off in this corner, and then I'm using a block of paper. It's 350 GSM rough watercolour paper. I don't like using hot press and get the most expensive, well, not the most expensive, the nicest paper you can afford. Don't get that really cheap stuff because it doesn't work. So I'm just going to drop some different colours in. I'm going to use a bit of purple. And this is supposed to be turquoise, but it's not working, but never mind. Now I'm going to try and create a snowy bit, but I'm just slapping on lots. Make sure you've got lots of water. So just drop loads on, make it really wet. Your paper's, if it's not on a block, it's probably going to like cockle and buckle and everything, but that's good, that's fine. Just carry on, slap a bit more in, and then tilt it and let it run back on itself. Now I've got some of this acrylic ink here, so you can use anything you've got really. I just wanted to add some extra bits in, and I got a bit of brown. I'm going to put on this one all around my. This is the Indian one. I've got this Hydrus watercolour. This is burnt sienna. I just wanted to put a little bit of brown in. Oh, if there's any in there, there's none in there, but it's coming out. There we go. Just go mad splattering stuff in. Now I'm going to use some of this granulation medium. You can see mine's dirty. Mine's been contaminated by paint because I don't rinse my brush in between. So I'm going to try and remember this time. And then I'm going to slap some of that on it, and you get these lovely. It just makes lovely things. I know I said this is a snowy scene, but we're going to add the snow in after. Hopefully, if it works out. I never know how these are going to change. I might decide to use something completely different for this one. Anyway, you end up with something a bit like that. Then I just sprinkle. It just needs to. I'll just waft it a bit. I'm just picking up the drips that are off the sides. This is where you get in a complete mess, which is good. I'm just going to run it up and down a bit, and I want to add some salt to it. I don't know what that, there's a bit of glue from the edge. I made this block myself. So the gluing's not perfect, but it works for me. Finger painting. Right, there we go. Now the sheen's sort of just going off of it. If you put salt on, if it's too wet, it doesn't work. And I want it to work for this. I've got some really big, chunky Atlantic sea salt, which is really good. I'm just going to slap that on. Slap it on, just sprinkle it on. Oh, and then I'm sprinkling normal table salt on as well, just because I can. And you make a big mess with it. Salt goes everywhere. Just have fun with it. So I'm going to put that to one side. I set the challenge on my Patreon, and if you're not a member, go and join. You get a project every month, and then there's all my old classes as well. Yeah, so go and check all that out, and there's links below here. If you want to go and see, you can go and see my other channel. Where I do my other art. So I thought what would be nice on here, I was looking at it yesterday, and I thought, oh, it's going to be really nice with snowdrops. So I've decided I'm going to paint some snowdrops on this background. Palettes. This is the palette I'm probably going to be using. It looks a mess, but you know, I like to if you're a beginner, you'll probably like to separate the colours out. But here I've got in Deathmarine blue, ultramarine blue, and they're the colours I'm going to use on here. And I might put a bit of, these are my browns, so there's umbers and siennas in here, which I've put like the reddy browns. I tend to group my colours together. These are all like turquoises. This is like purples. Here is Lunar Black, which I really love, by Daniel Smith. It does that really granular thing. And then I've got my yellow here. I have trouble with yellow. I can never keep it clean because I just stick my brush in. And here is a whole big mixture of greens. I use all different watercolour makes because there's so many out there, and just go and choose your favourite colours. You don't have to use what I'm using, and just take inspiration from what other people do and find your own colours and things. Right, I'm not going to draw anything, and I might use some Winsor & Newton white gouache just to brighten up the snowdrops. That's what we're painting. Yeah, so I'm going to paint some snowdrops into this. The brush I'm using is a Sea White Klotsky Sable brush, and it's got a nice tip on it. I like this sable brush because it has got a bit of spring. It hasn't got as much spring as I like. You know, I like a nice springy brush, but that one's okay. I don't mind this one. It's quite nice. It goes into a nice tip, and it holds a lot of water, which is another thing I like. Right, I can see I'm sort of going to do negative painting, so I can see a snowdrop shape here. It's not intentional, it's just something I can see. So I'm just going to go round it, pick it out. You might be able to see. So this one's like open. Go and study the shapes of snowdrops. I've painted them so many times, I sort of like know how to paint them. And then just bleed it out. Sorry if I lick my brush. I'm a brush licker. I've got Charlie here to tell me off. I'm not worrying about the stems because they're a bit tricky to paint. I might do a few. So I'm just doing this to start with, and then I'll just pick out the shapes that I can see in the background. They're sort of on a snowy bank here. And I'm going to do some buds. And they've got a leaf that goes over the top of them, so try and remember to get that in. I can always go in with it and paint it in. You have to be quite quick with this because you don't want a hard edge when you like bleed things out, like doing painting around stuff. But it's there, and I like to blot out some areas as well. There's another one here I can see. I didn't want to make them too... they might look a bit weird at the minute. They're like, what are you doing? There's blobs. Yeah, it's going to look a bit blobby to start with. But when I come and paint into the shapes of them, it's going to look nice. I promise. I can see like little buds here, so I'm just making them a bit more prominent. It's going to be fabulous. I'm just doing like a little grouping of them. I'm going to come in with some white gouache just to brighten them up a bit, because they do sort of glow in the sunlight, don't they? I've got some nice black purples there, so I'm going to come in with a bit of purple and do some of the leaves in the background. I'm going to try and get the darker bits in first, and then I'll come in with the light on the snowdrops. Dark purple. These are like in the backgrounds here. Just want that to dry. Oh gosh, what's that? Just saw another one there, so I'm sort of basically getting in the background shapes of the snowdrops, hopefully. Let's blot out a bit. I do like blotting something. This is really dark here, so I'm going to bring in like a darker green to do the leaves and things, and I'm going to work on let's put these snowdrops in a bit. I'm not going to don't put white in your palette, because it will like totally mess it up. So let's put my white in there. I'm going to get a stiffer brush for this, because you have to like mix it. I've got a just a synthetic brush. It's a bit stiffer. I probably don't need to go over all of them in white gouache, because they do sort of stand out from the background. I could keep it like pure watercolour, but I wanted to show you how you can use the gouache to make the shapes. That one might stay. I'll just do the a few here. I want to make my what do you call it, the eye draw here more than anywhere else, so I might keep these a bit lighter. Don't do everyone the same, because you don't want that. Your eye needs to like focus on one part. So that's my main one there. I might do, there's a couple of open ones there. This is going to be an open one, but I'm not going to do gouache all over it. I said I wasn't going to go all over all of them, but some of them seemed a bit. See, look, I'm like blotting the the paint on my wrist. These bits are supposed to be green, but I'm painting them white for the minute, and then I'll go over the green. I'm going to add some green in. I've got some lovely like green here. This was on. I showed you how to paint the background bit on my what do you call it? Live the other morning. So you got the background there. I just got to wait for this to dry. Whilst that's drying, I'm going to come in with some greens I've got. I think these are Van Gogh greens that I've got here in these bigger palettes, and they're quite nice and grainy, and I will mix them in with a little bit of Luna Black because I like the way it granulates and has that nice texture, so hopefully keeping that, even though they are spring flowers, so but they're not really spring flowers, they come up in the winter, don't they? I'm going to add a little bit of cadmium yellow to it just to spruce it up a bit. And the cadmium yellow is opaque, so it would go over what I've done, which is good. Just trying to do some like stimmy bits, and it's all running in together. So there's the whites running into the green that I put there, which is fine. There's a whole class on Snowdrops in my Patreon as well, because I was editing the video to that. I sort of had to go through them, even though they're older classes. I've had to go through them and just update a few things on them and make the film better quality, which I can do now, which is good. Because some of them are like from, gosh, I'm still going through my really old one, which was like from 2008. I think I videoed it on one of those big old cameras, you know, before the videos on phones got good. I used to have a video camera. I've still got it actually. It did do nice quality videos, but it's just needed updating a bit. It's all bled into each other here, but I don't mind that. I like the look. Ooh, it's a bit dark green. That one's really dark. I love Luna Black and yellow together make a nice green. Quite sure that needs to dry a bit. Now it looks like it's not really sitting on snow, so I'm going to come in with a bit of white. I'm just holding this up because I've put that on there, but then I'm not that happy with it, but it does make it look like it's snow. I will do some splashing. I quite like the way these look. I'm going to add some detail into the bells of the flowers and some shadows because it needs it. That's what I might. Let's make them, because they're not pure white, are they? Let's see if that would bleed down into that one. Yeah, that one needs to be in shadow underneath there. That's my more prominent one. I've gone a bit crazy with the white, just blot a bit out of it. I'm just adding like a bit of shadow, and they always have that little green bit in the middle, but seeing as that one's the only one that's open, I can only put it on, oops, I've got too much water on my brush, I can only put it on that one. I might put a little bit there. I might come in and do a few more. I'm going to do some splatter because that would be fun. Just adding some more because they do tend to grow in clusters. I'm mixing up like a bluey green using Indesarine blue and one of my darker greens, and just add some darks. Even though it needs to dry a bit. This is, ooh, I was going to put a clumpy old splot in these because they're too white. Put a clumpy old green in, and it should be nice. Get rid of that bit. That's sort of splodged into the background, so let's splodge it a bit more. Right, I'm going to get my dryer and just dry this. So oh. Right, I think that's dry now. I'm just going to come in with some more springy-like bits, colours, and then a few more darks, and then I'm going to splatter. Go for a splatter. I'm just going to highlight some more. I've lost the highlights on some of these. I just want them to be a bit more shining in the winter sun, I think. Trying to keep the light shining from this direction. I'm not sure if that's really working. Just drag that down there. Try and add some light in between so it looks like a shadow. Does that work? I don't know. I've lost that one completely there. Let's just put that one back in. Put one back there. So they're in little clusters of bells. think that's okay. Darks. Let's go in with a nice greeny, dark green colour. Just add some. Don't want to go. You can smush it with your finger, which is good. I always do finger painting. Finger painting is good. I'm not sure if it's a bit dark, but lighten it up a little bit. Don't want it too dark. Just using my finger to make it not so prominent. It like smushes it out a bit. A little bit of detail on that one, so it's more like a snowdrop. Oh, I keep licking my brush. And a little highlight on that one, because they need highlights on them as well, don't they? I've just picked up the colour off of this snowdrop, so I don't need much. Right, I think that's okay. They look quite delicate, don't they? I just mixed up a watery mixy, it's like milky consistency. I'm going to stick my toothbrush in here and I'm going to splatter on here. Make it snowy, like it's in snow. But it's blowing that way, so I'm going to do it a bit more. Don't want to do too much, you can get carried away. I get carried away doing this. There. I think it's done. Thank you for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed that. If you'd like to see more of my stuff, please think about joining my Patreon. The links are below. And thank you so much. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you. Bye.